another brick fan with an overview of the 2021 Advent calendars. I went over each of these Advent calendar builds in separate videos, one for each day, but I thought it'd be nice to go back and take a look at the whole Advent calendars. So I will be highlighting each of these Advent calendars really quickly. Again, I'm doing City, Star Wars, Avengers, and Harry Potter. And if you look down here, I've kind of got these pieces all packed together. So here is the City stuff. Right next to that is going to be Star Wars. Again, they're packed really tightly in there. We'll take a close look at each of them. Here is the Marvel Universe. And then right next to that is going to be all of the sets from Harry Potter. So there those are as well. So let's take a quick look at each of these calendars individually. First, let's start out with a Lego City Advent calendar. And here is the front of the box, which gives you some hint of some of the different builds. So we have this little car here. We have this kind of outside display that kind of looks like a mailbox or a lamppost, perhaps. A few of our minifigures. Of course, Santa Claus on the train here. Here's our fire station and a fire helicopter on the front. So nice box art here. Looking on the top of the box, you see the names of all of our minifigures that are included. And these are from the Lego City animated or computer generated Lego series. The back of the box here has a big look at Santa Claus, some more items kind of built here on the Advent calendar itself, and then some ads for some other city sets. Opening the set up, you see all of the doors as well as the board or the placemat where you put the different figures that you get. So let's quickly run through the 24 builds that we got with this set. We're going to go through each day's build quickly, so we'll start with days 1 through 6. So first we have this city bus. I thought it turned out really nicely with all these windows represented by these clear bricks and then the yellow-green color scheme. I thought turned out nicely. This is a little wash station, so your bus can go through this wash station. It's just wide enough for the bus to fit through there. So that was good. We have this decorative little scene here. Like I said, a lamp post, but it does have the letter there, so perhaps it's the front of the post office or something like that. This little vehicle here, I'm calling an ambulance. It's in the red and white colors. It's got what looks like a siren on the top here, and I like how they use this little texture piece in the back to kind of represent some exhaust, perhaps. This, of course, is Sam Grizzled, our local police officer, dressed to play hockey with a little hockey puck there. And then there is a police car, which once again has the lights on the top, and then the handcuffs, I think, are what really set it off as a police car. Here we have days 7 through 12. So it starts with, this is Big Betty, who is a crook. You can see she's carrying a gem here that she probably didn't get legitimately. But she's dressed to play hockey with Sam Grizzled. We got this nice festive tree, so a snow-covered pine tree or perhaps a flocked Christmas tree. We have this little vehicle here, which is kind of a stunt vehicle or off-road type vehicle. We have a hospital front here, you can tell, with a big shot to scare everybody away. We have the fire helicopter here. This is a nice fire helicopter build. And then we have Duke de Train as a snowman here. I like how they use the green scarf there with him, and I think that turned out to be a really nice little snowman. Here we have day 13 through 18, starting off with this nice treat table here with a candle, maybe a drink. There's a cookie here and looks like some kind of chocolate dessert. Here is our firefighter Bob, the fire station here with a big fire extinguisher over here, and then this landing platform. We have a tractor here, which I think turned out really nicely in this green and orange color scheme. Then it has a trailer on it, which if you remember from the box, it showed this little wedge piece being used as a jump for that car we had in day 9 build. But I think you could also represent that as a combine or some other type of farm equipment being dragged behind the tractor. So this here is Top Hat Tom, and it looks like he's either out shopping for his Christmas gifts or he is singing a carol. And then finally we have this toy workbench with a rubber duck and then this brick-built little ship here, and that was on day 18. And finally we have day 19 through 24. So we started here with a garbage truck, and it has a little shovel and some stuff to pick up. Then we have here, this is Shirley Keeper, who I believe is a recycling nut. She's wearing that safety vest and looks like she's cleaning and gathering stuff up. We have this really good chimney build. I think this turned out nicely. I like the little decoration here. So that was very nice. And then we got the train. So we got the engine first and then the train car afterward. And then of course on day 24 we get Santa Claus, and in this case he has a cookie with him as well. Let's take a quick look at how some of these could be displayed on the board that's provided. So here I've placed a couple of figures here on the display. So we have our folks playing hockey. We've got Santa coming in on the train there. The bus is going through the bus wash. A couple of vehicles are riding around. And then we have our firemen and the hospital kind of over there on the other side. So lots of playability and fun things you can do with these sets. Let's move on to the Star Wars calendar. Next up we have the Star Wars Advent Calendar, and as it says right down here in the corner, this is based on The Mandalorian. There's some Season 1, mostly Season 1. There are some Season 2 things in here, as I covered in the previous days. The back of the calendar basically is a picture of the calendar open with some additional scenery in the back. Shows a few of the minifigures and some of the other builds that are in the calendar. And then opening it up, we get this nice snowy display here with some Christmas lights. Let's go ahead and take a look at the daily builds from this set. Here are the builds from days 1 through 6. It starts with the Razor Crest, which is the Mandalorian ship. Next to that is Riot Mars Starfighter, which I thought looked a lot like a Naboo Starfighter, just different coloring. Next we got a Stormtrooper, and then we got an E-Web Heavy Blaster with a stud shooter on the top. Couple of targets here, so you can shoot the stud shooter at the targets. And then this here is an Imperial troop transport. For days 7 through 12, we have the Land Speeder in this nice blue color, the light blue here. A Tusken Raider, the Tusken Raider weapon rack. And then this is a Tusken Raider, I think like snow launcher or maybe ballista type weapon. Of course, an X-Wing and a TIE Fighter. Here we have day 13 through 18. It starts with a Scout Trooper here. Next is an Imperial weapon rack with a rifle and a pistol, blaster pistol. Here's a speeder bike, the Imperial speeder bike. This is a little transport type skiff. This reminds me of the one that was in the final episode of Season 1 from The Mandalorian, went through the lava. This is an Imperial Light Cruiser from Season 2 of The Mandalorian. I thought this one turned out really nicely. And then last we have a IT-O Interrogator Droid. Here we have the last 6 days, so that is day 19 through 24. Starts with Boba Fett's ship, or Slave 1. This is IG-11, an assassination droid. This is a Mandalorian weapon rack, so we got a total of 3 weapon racks. Here is Grogu, or the Child, in a little holder here. I love the festive red and green outfit he's wearing here. This is the Child's hover pram, so he fits right in there and can hover around and be moved around easily. And then this is the Mandalorian in his Beskar armor, as well as a red scarf. Overall, nice builds and a good Star Wars Advent Calendar. Next up, the Avengers Advent Calendar. This is brand new for 2021. This is the first time they've done a Marvel-themed Advent Calendar. And as you can see on the front, it looks like they're up in Tony Stark's penthouse, perhaps. And you see many of the characters that are with this, as well as some of the builds that are included. Moving around to the back, you see Tony Stark flying around, the Quinjet here, Avengers Tower in the background, so that must be Manhattan, New York City, kind of in the snowy wonderland. Opening this up, you see, of course, all the doors, and then the base looks like the landing platform here, and you're inside or looking into the Avengers Tower. You can see the Quinjet right there. So let's take a quick look at the builds. Here we have the builds for day 1 through 6. We start with Tony Stark here in a Christmas sweater. Next to him, there's just a package of the various blaster pieces or accessories that go with it. So a little bit disappointing, but certainly useful. Next, we have a piece that kind of looks like it goes with the Hall of Armor with this nice wreath display. We have Black Widow, a barbecue grill, and then a table with this really nice hamburger build on top. Here we have day 7 through 12. So we have Spider-Man here with like a churro and some hot chocolate. We have this table that is like a wrapping table, but it also connects to like that wreath build that we just did. There are a couple of gifts here, a Spider-Man themed one, and this is Iron Man, proof that Tony Stark has a heart. Here's a drone done in the Spider-Man colors, which I thought turned out nicely. Thanos, a little too small, but still good to get a Thanos minifigure. And then my favorite build probably from this calendar is the helicarrier here. Here we have the builds for day 13 through 18. This includes these gifts. So there's a large stocking and another box. There's the robot here, usually referred to as Dumb-E. Here is Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, an Iron Man themed snowman, a Quinjet, and of course Nick Fury with some kind of remote control here. And finally, for day 19 through 24, we started with the Avengers Tower, then this toy robot or wind-up robot here, the Hall of Armor, Thor, a Christmas tree, and finally the Infinity Gauntlet with all 6 Infinity Stones. A really solid entry for the first ever Marvel Advent Calendar. Lots of good figures and nice builds. Let's go ahead and move on to the Harry Potter Advent Calendar. Last up, we have the Harry Potter Advent Calendar, and as you can see on the front here, we've got all of the minifigures are displayed here, actually more than once. So we have Ron, Harry and Hermione here, Harry and Grip Hook, Ron and Hermione back there, and then Dudley Dursley, which I believe are all of the minifigures that come with this set. Nice winter scene here. We got the cart and everything, and then some decorations from inside of Hogwarts. The back of the box shows the open box, and it shows this nice fireplace piece here, which confused me when I was first opening it up. But now that you can see it on the box, it looks pretty cool and allows for an action feature. We can drop letters through it. Then, of course, it comes with 2 of the random wizard cards down here. And then the rest of the figures here can be put on this game board. So let's take a quick look at that. Here's the game board that comes inside the Harry Potter Advent Calendar. Let's go ahead and take a look at the daily builds. Here we have the builds for day 1 through 6. So it starts with a sign for Privet Drive, and then we get Harry Potter, and then the fireplace from the Dursleys' house. This one threw me for a loop when I first looked at it. Then there's some accessories that are going to go with the fireplace, and then the birthday cake that Harry got from Hagrid on his birthday when Hagrid found him, and then of course Dudley Dursley here. Here's day 7 through 12. We start with the Leaky Cauldron sign here, and then there's a table with some drinks on it that I believe go inside the Leaky Cauldron. Here is the brick wall that is the entryway into Diagon Alley. This one threw me for a loop. I thought it was like a piano because just the way it was kind of designed, you could think of the keys right here, so maybe a closed piano. But I think after looking at it and seeing it, I believe this is the countertop or one of those stalls there, where one of the areas where you approach in Gringotts Bank. So there is a little place here that you can place a minifigure. And of course, after looking at the box again, it definitely is on the box that way. Here is Grip Hook. And then this is the little mine cart that you ride through Gringotts to get to your vault. Here we have day 13 through 18. It starts with the bank vault door here from Gringotts, some treasure that goes with the bank vault. Here is a box containing Harry's wand, a book, some other miscellaneous pieces. So we got a wizard card, a chocolate frog, a ticket to Hogwarts, and Hedwig. And this is a train trolley that carries all of this stuff. And then we got Ron, who also came with a wizard card. Here we have day 19 through 24, starting with this sign for the Hogwarts Express. The sign looks like it's on a column from King's Cross Station. Here's Hermione Granger, one of the tables from the Great Hall during the feast. So you see all the food on it, pumpkins, bread, cherries. Here is Draco Malfoy, a Christmas tree here. And then this is the spinner that works with the game. So let's take a quick look at how the game is set up. Here is the game board all set up. And as you can see, every piece from the Advent calendar fits on the game board. So this is really great how they did this. You can have 4 players here that can go through. So I combined the fireplace and those little accessories together. And then, so as you see, the letters will fall right out of the fireplace. Next to that, of course, is the birthday cake from Harry. Then we have the leaky cauldron. Then the entrance to Diagon Alley, so that can open up. Here's Grip Hook at the desk here at Gringotts. They can move on to the trolley cart and go to the vault here, which as we open that up, you'll see all of the treasure inside. Then over here, he ends up at King's Cross Station with the different pieces there. And then finally into the Great Hall for his Christmas feast. Really nicely done how they put this all together and themed the entire thing around this little game board, which turned out quite nicely. So let's go back and I'll give you a summary of all of the Advent calendars I reviewed this year. So that is a quick look at each of these Advent calendars. Some of my favorites, I think I pointed them out earlier, but I did like all of the minifigures from all of these sets. I think they were all pretty good. I did like the snowman. I thought that was a really nice standout there for the city set. And I also liked the last 3 builds from City, because that was the train engine, the train car, and Santa Claus, which all go together. You can put Santa Claus and have him ride in on the train like it shows there on the front of the box. As far as Star Wars goes, I think the Razor Crest and Slave One both looked fantastic. Although the targets are kind of a disappointing build, I think they have a nice action feature since you have the E-Web Heavy Blaster and you have the Tusken Snow Launcher there. Both can shoot at those targets, which I think is a nice play feature. The ships and minifigures, the Star Wars set certainly had the best overall as far as the builds go. From Avengers, I really liked the vehicles, so the Spider Drone, I thought turned out really well. The Quinjet is nice. I think the best vehicle build is the Helicarrier. I think that turned out really nicely. I also like the Avengers Tower. I think that build was spot on as far as looking at the Avengers Tower. And then, as I also mentioned, the Infinity Gauntlet. This is the cheapest way to get the Infinity Gauntlet with all 6 stones. So if that's something that you want, I would run out and grab this Advent calendar. And then finally, for Harry Potter, for the most part, the scenery builds are set up to go on the game board, which I showed you. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then you have the 6 minifigures that you can use as players. Overall, I think there are some really nice pieces here in the Harry Potter Advent calendar. And it's pretty much the same style that they've been doing with the Harry Potter Advent calendars, where you have various builds from around the Hogwarts castle typically, and you have some minifigures to go along with that. Overall, I think this year turned out really nicely. We got a lot of really good minifigures. We got some nice builds, and it's always fun to open these up on the days leading up to Christmas. I hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on the 2021 Advent calendars. I'm going to get started on some more videos for the new year. And until then, happy building.